After 80 years in business, you might not expect a complete shift in a company's customer base. But at Foote Gear Works, a longtime maker of large industrial gearing systems in areas like mining and transportation, that's exactly what happened back in 2003 when a new potential growth sector popped up 70 miles west of its plant in Cicero, at Illinois' first wind turbine farm in the small town of Paw Paw, Illinois.
We certainly were looking for a growth business, and at that time there was no better business than wind, not only because it was renewable energy, but because it was certainly something that we could see growing, and it certainly did grow for the next 5 to 6 years.
Foote began producing large gears specifically for wind turbines in addition to its previous load, growing steadily in the wind sector until 2008. That's when two landmark deals turned what had been just a budding new business into the company's new focus. GE Transportation and California-based Clipper Wind, two of the leading wind turbine producers in the world, enlisted Foote to be the sole supplier of their wind turbine gears. The new deals doubled Foote's revenue and helped modernize its processes, and today the production of wind turbine gears and gearboxes makes up the majority of the company's business.
We've invested over $50 million into capital equipment. It was probably a tenfold investment from what had occurred previously in the past. We had to retool our factories, and not only with new machinery, but we had to retool when it comes to processing of our product. That made us improve our capability quite a bit.
The company added an entirely new plant as a result of the growth, nearly doubling its factory space in Cicero, which now stands at around 600,000 square feet. Now Foote is aiming to at least double in size again in the next 3 to 5 years. And if wind energy continues its already rapid expansion, meeting that goal should be a breeze. According to the Illinois Commerce Commission, utility providers are required to purchase about 5% of their electricity from renewable energy sources today. By 2025, the state has mandated that number jump up to 25%. Out of that piece of the pie, at least 75% is required to come from wind energy. Right now, there are 13 wind farms operating in Illinois, generating more than 1,800 megawatts of electricity, enough to power about 500,000 homes. That growth over the last 8 years generated nearly 10,000 full-time equivalent jobs, according to a renewable energy study done at Illinois State.
I think that the more wind that we see developed in the United States, that means the more manufacturing base that will expand. One unique thing about wind energy manufacturing is oftentimes these components are so large. They're on a mining scale. I mean, they're very large components that are required. And oftentimes it doesn't make sense to manufacture those in India or China. You know, an iPod can be manufactured overseas and shipped much more easily than a 150-foot wind turbine blade. So we're seeing more manufacturing base in the U.S. of the large components. And Foote's a great example of that.
This is a gear that goes into a wind turbine.
Schuler says entering the wind turbine sector has not only boosted the bottom line, but has also transformed the efforts that defined Foote for years. State-of-the-art equipment and processes required to meet turbine gear's aerospace level of precision have helped the 86-year-old company take on a 21st century look and may serve as a blueprint for evolution for many of Chicago's old-line manufacturers.
We always got to be looking for adjacent markets to sell our existing products and versus getting away from what's core in a business. And you can't be everything to everybody, but I think Foote is a good example of how we retooled and worked to grow in that adjacent market.